how young or how old. I don't know how old or how young you guys were in 1987. Now, let me go back by saying that for you to be a journalist, the first thing is not just about you being able to speak good English. The first thing is passion. You must be driven by passion. And when you are driven by passion, you know that you give everything to that endeavor. It means that naturally, that is what you are supposed to do. Passion is number one. Number two, you must have an education. Very important. You don't have to read mass communication. But I've always advised the young people, go get, even if it's a diploma from the NIJ in Lagos, there's the FRCN training school in Lagos. You find them everywhere. That is number two. You have to do what? Have an education, then go to a specialized institute that will train you on the ethics of journalism. That is number two. Then number three, it is mentorship. You have to be mentored. As I'm talking to you now, just think of that journalist out there whom you want to be like and be better than. Find a way of reaching out to somebody. It could be within your environment. It could be in Port Harcourt right here. It could be anywhere. Reach out, find a way. Social media has made the world a global village. It's so easy to communicate now. Find a way through Twitter, Facebook, phone contact, just anything. It could be physical. You could drive or you could walk. You could find your way to any radio station or television station to say, I want to see, for instance, Sammy Wejanye. I want to see him. Sammy, you are someone I've looked up to. Please, this is what I want to do. I need you to mentor me. Anything you do in life beyond journalism that you don't have someone you idolize, in quotes now, you won't go far. You will not stand out. You'll just be just one of those persons. I'll give you an example. I've always admired Paul Bassi from a distance. The day I met Paul Bassi, that was the beginning of the change that has taken me to where I am today. Number four, there must be something inside of you that can be used to be helped by a mentor. It could be your zeal. It could be your talkativeness. It could be your knowledge of the sport. It could be anything. There must be something inside of you. You could call it talent. You could call it gift. Use whatever name that is inside of you that will need to be polished. Once you have that, there's something, I always pray this prayer. I say, may your life carry value. There must be a value in you that mentor that you have chosen will say, okay, this is it. I'll give you an example. In 1994, 93, 94, I can't remember now, we were with Paul Bassi. Yes, he's my mentor. And he asked a question. We were a crowd, we were young people, over 20. We always go to his house to play Monopoly, Scrabble, different games. And I remember that day, he was writing his page. He had to call him with the Punch newspapers. And he asked a question. He said, did Augustine Godwin play at the 1988 African Nations Cup? I said yes. I didn't think twice. I said yes. Because I was then, I don't know if I'm still, a moving encyclopedia when it comes to sports. I had newspaper clippings everywhere. So I just said, yes, he played at the Nations Cup in 1988 in Morocco. And beyond that Godwin scored in the sudden death, the penalty shootout. He did. There was a young man right there with us. His name is Victor Kozo Matonat. He was writing a book on football. And the foreword of that book was written by the then General Secretary of FIFA, Sepp Blatter. I mean, naturally, Paul Bassi should have believed Victor. But somehow, he said there was something in me, the way I said it authoritatively, he decided to go with me in writing his column. That was when you didn't have the internet. So there was no way to go and check the internet if I was wrong or if I was right. But he said there was something, there was this conviction that he could see from my body language. And like I said, he decided to go with me. And he wrote it, went back later to check, and lo and behold, I was right. And that was the beginning of Popasi saying, yes, I'm going to mentor you. Now, I've talked about 4 things now. I need someone to remind me, what was the first thing I said?
Sir, you talked about passion. The first thing in journalism is passion. You must be driven by your passion.
Number 2?
You talked about having formal education and going to a special school to train you on journalism.
You must have what again? An education backed
formal
by
education.
Yeah. Formal
backed
education.
by training. Yeah. Passion backed by formal education.
Backed by training. Yeah. Number 3?
Mentorship. Anything you do in life, you have to have someone who you idolize, otherwise you won't go for it. You just become one of the rest.
Number 4?
There must be something inside of you that needs mentorship or polishing. That is, we call it talent or gift.
It could be your talent or gift for the job. I'm going to give you 10 examples. Number 5, don't forget, I've talked about passion. You must be driven by passion. You must have formal education. And along the line, you must back that up by training and retraining in specialized institutions, as it were. Number 3, when you have these 2, then mentorship. Yes. Number 4, you must have the talent and the gift that can be polished. Then you must have what we call contacts, or better still, sources. If you are a journalist, yes, agreed, you've gone through 1 to 4, you are now a journalist. Who do you know? Who do you know? You have been taught, when you go to that training, specialized training, which is number 2, they are going to tell you how to conduct an interview, and so on and so forth. You have all that. Now, you have been mentored after that. Someone you want to be like or better than, someone who you can speak with from time to time when, you find yourself in a difficult situation. Now, you have the talent. You are ready to go into the business of journalism. What do? You have to have sources, people you can speak to. Did you get that? People you can talk to from time to time. You're looking for news. You need information. You must get contacts. And these contacts will be through your mentor. People you can reach out to say, okay, sir, I want to talk to Austin Egbavon. Please, can I have his contacts? I don't want to, follow what people are saying. Then number 6, you must build credibility. You must build credibility. It's very important in journalism. Then, after that, you must have, you can call it your nose or your eyes, whatever, TV or radio, for news. Yes, news. When I say credibility, what am I talking about? You don't there are so many, in today's journalism, there are too many blackmailers. Yeah. People who do this business because of money. I've always said that in my 33 years as a journalist, sport journalist precisely, I've never boarded an aeroplane paid for by the Nigerian Football Federation because I want my credibility intact. I can't board a plane paid for by Nigerian Football Federation, and do I have the moral right to criticize them? Please, I want to hear you talk. Do I have it?
No, sir. It's like biting the hand that feeds you.
Okay. And like they say in Nigeria, you can't, it's bad manners when you talk while eating. Isn't it? That's what they say. Number 7, you must have that instinct, that you can smell news from a distance. Remember, we're talking about the quintessential what? Journalist. You can smell news from a distance. Let me tell you what I did a few days ago. People were talking, blah, blah, blah. Amaju should resign. Amaju third term, blah, blah, blah. And I was asking myself, everybody is saying they think that, what do I do that will stand me out? Because first and foremost, number 5, I have contact and I have sources. Number 6, I have built credibility over the years. And I can smell news from a distance. And I called Amaju Pinnick on my radio show, Top Radio 90.9 FM in Lagos. Impromptu call. And Amaju said that he's not going for a third term. The family has said no. This was before Arise News. My interview was before Arise. The kind of calls I received from all over, because I don't know how the thing went out. It just went viral. People recorded the show, and it went, Amaju says family will not allow him to go for a third term. And I think that's where Arise picked it from, and they called him because he's a friend of Arise, Onduka of Yaguela, the owner of Arise. So that is it. Make a difference, smell news, feel news. And when you do this, a lot of persons will listen to you. A lot of persons will watch. And there's something they say most times. They say, if you want to know the best, the latest about Nigerian sports, please listen to Godwin in Enakhena. And I'm always humbled when I hear things like that. Passion, formal education, backed by training, mentorship, talent or gifts that can be polished, contact or sources. You cannot be doing third-party journalism. You must be able to talk to. Samuel Wezena does that most times. You find out that he will call like 5, 6 of us when he's doing this program. And we speak from the inside, not from the outside. Build credibility. You can smell news from a distance. And again, which is very, very important, never stop learning. Never stop learning. Learn, and learn. Number 9, after learning on the job, because the day you stop improving, that is the day you are finished. How can I be better than my yesterday? Then carve, number 9, a niche for yourself. Carve a niche for yourself. Listen, Charles and Azuru and I became the best of friends, and we are still the best of friends. And I said to myself, Paul Bassi said to me many years ago, you must be somebody that is different from everybody. Charles can speak English. Yeah, he read English. I think Port Harcourt also. Yeah. I read public administration. But here I am talking sports. What can I do that will make me different? What niche can I carve for myself? I decided to do what they call freestyle in journalism. There's no way you will listen to me that you will not laugh. There's no way you will listen to me that you will not get the best of information, not third-party information. I mean, real information as it were. Exclusive information. I hardly talk foreign sports. I try to run away from sport. You know why? We all can go on the internet and get foreign sports. But how do I, for instance, talk to Amaju? Amaju, are you contesting? Are you going for a third term? And I was the one that broke their news before I rise. I was at the Nations Cup in 2004 in Tunisia. I went into Kano's room and I saw a small picture of a very pretty young lady. And I said, Papilo, who be this girl? And he said to me, is that what you came here for? You don't do interview, now they go now. I said, Papilo, who is that girl? You know, I did, and you know what Kano said? He said, Godwin, you are different. He said, a lot of persons have come into this room. They came here and it looked like war. You have come, we laughed, we joked, and you didn't ask me for, I didn't collect £1 from Kano. He offered me $100. I told him not to worry. Even though I needed $100, but I needed to prove to him that I'm not like others. I got the information, got back, sent my news, my stories to Lagos, and it was published. Her name is Amarachi, the girl after Kano's act. Simple. I carved a niche for myself by being the man who will go in there and I will give you what you cannot get in a different way, relaxed atmosphere, in a freestyle way. I'm not casting news. Since I'm not casting news, I should be able to present a show and you will enjoy it. And number 10, make journalism your life. Take it seriously. Tell yourself that through journalism, I will buy a vehicle of my dream. I will build a house of my dream. Make it a business. That's the word. Make it a very serious business. Don't come in for the glamour. Glamour is very important, but let there be what? The business side of it. How do I sell this talent to become money? Explore opportunities. Learn how to write proposals. Learn how to carry yourself in a way that you'll be respected. Don't just be another man there waiting for salary. Your salary cannot take you home. Journalism can open doors, take advantage of what journalism is all about. As a journalist, you are respected if you respect yourself. Journalism has done so much for me. With modesty, I have built 4 houses from journalism. I have 2 houses, 3 precisely in Lagos. I have in my village, I have in Benin City, through journalism. I've explored different avenues. I've driven 18 cars, 18 vehicles through journalism. Some people will tell you that journalism, they are poor people, they are this and that. They're not. You know why? Because you sit down there and you're waiting for salaries. Today, I'm the director of sports, Mountain of Fire Miracles Ministries. This is my 14th year through journalism. Today, I run a football club that is about to change the narrative in Nigerian football called Sporting Lagos. I'm the chairman of that club. You hear what I'm saying? They paid me very, very well. Journalism opened the door. So please make it a business. I mean, serious business. Don't sell yourself cheaper. Avoid administrators. If you are looking for, if a game is played, I'm talking to those who want to be sport journalists, if a game is played and it has just ended, the first set of people you go after are the gladiators, the players, the coaches. If you want information, something that has to do with the well-being or something of the club, then that is when you talk to administrators randomly. in today's sport journalism, a game is over. Out of 10 journalists at the stadium, 9 of them will run after the administrator. The players who just played the game, the guy who just scored the goal, the coach who just made some tactical changes, you don't go after him. Then when the interview is done, the administrator puts his hand in his pocket and gives a token, maybe 50,000 for 10 people. You share it to 2,000 naira. You have lost your identity. You have lost your respect. You can as well learn how to do what? Make money out of this business. How do you make this money? First and foremost, build credibility, write proposals, have side hustles. What are those things you can do that will make a difference? These are the elements. I want to stop here. 10 of how you can become a quintessential journalist. Thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you so much, sir. We have amassed a lot from what you've just taught now, and we'll move over to the question segments. Now, if anybody has a question, just indicate by raising up your hands, and the lecturer will answer your questions. Thank you so much, Mr. Godwin Enakhena.
Thank you. Bless you.
So does anybody have any questions? Or okay, sir, I'll start with a question. So I've watched you on TV. I'm 17 years old actually. I started watching you when I was I think 14 thereabout. Yes, I started watching you, when you come on Super Sports, this show, I think Soccer Africa, I think so. So I've watched you there, and seeing you, I just want to know, like, what has kept you at the top? What has kept you at the top? You have been in this business for journalism for so long. I mean, is there any other secret to this? Because you have been here for so long, and you have, look at this, you have still what you have accomplished. You have built houses, you have a great name for yourself, you have driven cars, etc., etc. It just keeps piling up. So how can somebody replicate what Mr. Godwin Enakhena has done in his career?
Well, like I said, if you follow the 10, I'll call them the 10 commandments that have worked for me, I think it's so easy. The first thing, like I said, I want to say that I was born to be a sport journalist. That's number one. So it's not happenstance. I didn't just dabble into it. I did not, you see, interestingly, growing up in the village, there was no TV. We didn't have TV. So I didn't see anybody to say this was going to be my idol or someone I'm going to, you understand, this is my mentor or whatever. I was born to be what I am today. Then number two, the passion. If it's what God wants you to be, there's something attached to it, which is passion. Then I got formal education. I got mentorship. Remember, that passion, the gift, there was already a gift, that talent inside of me that was waiting to be polished. That's all. There was something inside of me that was waiting to be polished. And I met the right people. I met Paul Bassi. I went through the school of Paul Bassi journalism. And one of the things he told us was that if you go to a media event, it could be the one you call press, whatever, please, once that event is over, leave unless the organizers ask you to wait. If not, leave. So I built that reputation. I got that respect. Then I had contacts, people I can speak with. There's nobody in Nigerian sport, I didn't say football, in Nigerian sport that I don't have their contacts, that I will call and the person will be asking me, who is this? There's a difference between having someone's contact Does he have your contact? I have people's contact, and 99% of them have my contact. So when I call them, I mean those who matter, when I call them, they pick my calls and I ask them straight questions. When I give you an example, when the coaches, the names came out, the first thing I did was to call one of the coaches. And I said, I've seen the team list for the game or the games against Ghana, home and away. What do you know about that team list? And the coaches said they don't know anything about that team list. That they just saw it, but there's nothing they can do. At the end of the game in Abuja, I called again. And one of the coaches told me that they were told to play Ahmed Musa and Ojo from the start. I'm not talking about what I was told by a third party. I'm talking about those who are on the inside, because I had built credibility that they can trust, because that's what is important. You have sources, they must trust you. I have built trust. I have built credibility. So they could give me any information and they know that I know how to manage information. As a journalist, you must learn how to manage information. My news, I can smell news from a distance. I know what news is all about. And remember, like I said, the day you stop learning, the day you stop improving, then there's a big problem. I can't be news for myself. And I hear people say, if you watch Mr. Godwin's show, his passion and his freestyle is something to behold. I do my radio show on Top Radio. I introduced something recently, and it called I Can't Sell Couple. Yesterday, I was doing a show, and so it's a sports show, remember? But I've gone out of talking sport when I'm talking sports. The guy sent me a message to say that the girlfriend is depressed. If only I can call her. I'm doing a sports show. So I called the young lady. She picked live on the show. And by the time I was done talking to her, she started smiling. And the guy called me this morning to say, I wouldn't know what I did for him and his girlfriend, that they are happy again. Meanwhile, I'm talking sport. That's carving a niche for yourself. Dare to be different. Make journalism your life. What has kept me going? I have told myself that through journalism, through the doors, the opportunities that journalism has given to me, I must explore and exploit all of them. And it's worked for me, I tell you. Sport administrator, member, Nigerian Football Reform Committee, member, Technical Study Group, Nigerian Football, match commissioner. Because journalism, listen to me, journalism opens a lot of doors. That is, if you are different, you are not just another journalist. So, my dear brother, this is why in the last 33 years, I have not left sport journalism. As chairman of MFM Football Club, some people will call me and say, how can a chairman of a club be on TV and be talking sports? I should concentrate. I said, my first love is journalism. For now, as long as I can combine them, I remember, underline that, as long as I can combine them, I will continue to be relevant by being on air. So here are my secrets. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, hello, sir.
Okay, I'm with you.
All right. My name is Mike Cookie. Listening to you, sir, I'm quite impressed, I must say, and I've learned quite a lot, sir. I have a question I want to ask, and you've given us the 10 golden rules, or you say the 10 commandments. Now, my question has got to do with number 6, where you must build credibility. As an upcoming journalist, how do you manage your credibility where it conflicts with your organizational stand? By that, I mean, you went out as a journalist, you saw a story, you brought it back, but that story tend to be conflicting with the interests of either your boss or so. How do you handle that, sir? I want to cite a story just to buttress this. There was an interview that eventually went viral that was held with Chief Fani Kayode. I don't know how many of us could still recall. We had some journalists went and they were interviewing him. And at the end of that interview, there was an outburst and he lashed out on a particular journalist. Now, Phillips have it that he acted that way because there was some brown envelope that he was throwing around. And you have advised here, sternly, that after such interviews, a journalist that wants to keep his credibility should stand up and walk away. So as an upcoming journalist, sir, where your credibility is more like on the line or not in tandem with your boss, what do you do and how do you handle such situation? Thank you, sir.
Thank you for that question. I've had to answer this question a million and one times. You know, there's something about the Italians saying, when you are in Rome, you behave like what? The Romans. Every organization has got a policy, and you must adhere to those policies. Your organization will not ask you to twist stories. Every organization, okay, let me give you an example, a perfect example. I have a show on NTA. It is called Sports Summit, every Saturday and Sundays between 8:45 and 9. I don't talk to people who will say this government is useless. I don't talk to people who will say government should stop all this giving money to footballers and all the rest, because I know that I'm on NTA. That does not impugn your character. You know that when you are in Rome, like no matter how rich you are, you cannot wear slippers or shoes into a mosque. Study the organization you work for, know the things you can do, I mean your limitations, and you will excel. Look for those news that have nothing to do with conflict of interest in your organization. Things are getting better because today's journalism, you can own your own platform and you decide to tell the truth. You don't tell the truth in someone else's organization. For instance, you cannot be working with a radio station that is owned by the Rivers State government and you criticize the Rivers State government. Can you? What am I saying here? Apply wisdom, but keep looking for those stories that will not conflict with the interests of the organization that you work for. And that has nothing to do with building or not building credibility. It's a different, don't miss, it's a different ballgame altogether. When I talk about credibility, credibility has to do with what? Not blackmailing people. There are journalists whose stock in trade is in blackmailing people. And there are some stories you don't touch. You just leave them because you know that you don't have your own medium to publicize those things. But don't tell a lie. Instead of you to write a story that tells a lie. Okay, for instance, if you go to a function and So many things happen there. That's why they tell you that you have every story, every event, you could tell it from 100 angles, different angles. Pick an angle that is the truth and write it. You know that that story is in sync with your organization. That's the advice I will give to you. I will not tell you credibility, write it. When they sack you, I don't have a job to give to you. The country we are in today, what I did working with today's sports newspapers under poverty, what I have done. Let me tell you, you will not believe it. I started out with on TV, NTA. I'm still in NTA till today. Number two, and I'm on radio. I started out with Radio Nigeria. That's Metro FM in Lagos. Then I now on TV again. I went to Lagos Television. After that, Traffic Radio in Lagos. Then Echo FM in Lagos. Do you know what I'm talking about? All these TV and radio stations I just mentioned now are owned by government. Have not been queried one day. Not for one day. You know why? Because I know where to draw the line. I say the truth. I look at an angle that is safe for me. I'm not lying. I'm saying the truth, but an angle that is safe for me. And I let those who have platforms, independent platforms, to run their stories. But as long as you work for somebody, sorry, forget about independence. But you can be credible, a credible journalist working for government or private organization. I hope I answered your question.
Very well, sir. Well answered. Thank you so very much.
God bless you.
Thank you, sir, for answering the question. I don't know if anybody has any other questions to ask. Okay. In the absence of any other question, I want to just chip in a little question. Sir, what is the difference in being a journalist and being a director? You know, being a journalist and being a director, it seems like two like separate things. Like, how did you manage to be a journalist and then go to being a director?
Okay. You see, like I said, I talked about learning and learning. That is number 8 in the 10 Commandments. Learning and learning. You know, just keep learning. Don't be straight-jacketed. You get what I'm saying? And when I spent over 20 years of my journalism career covering the super egos of Nigeria from close quarters. I was inside of the super egos of Nigeria. I was so close to the administrators from way back, Alhaji Ibrahim Galadima, Sani Lulu, Aminu Meigari, you know, all these guys. I was very close to them, still very close to every one of them. Pinik Amaju, you know, general secretaries of Nigerian Football Federation, then the league, you know, I found a way of covering the league within my sphere. I wasn't traveling up and down, but within Lagos, Ibadan, Ijebu-Ode, you know, I monitored closely. I didn't know that at some point this would happen. So I studied people, and there's something I do, which is I'm very inquisitive. I ask questions. I like to ask those who have been there before me, how they got to where they are, you know, how they are sustaining their successes, as it were. So that kind of prepared me for sport administration. When I got into it, I started learning on the job. And some of the things that I learned as a journalist came handy. Some of the criticisms that I was doing from a distance. You know, today I sit down and I say to myself, that I was so stupid in those days when I was criticizing sport administrators. A lot of journalists do it. They still do it tomorrow. You just criticize from a distance. You don't even know what the man is going through in a peculiar environment. So I got into it, and the motivation was in trying to prove a point, in trying to show that a journalist can do it. Yes, a sport journalist can manage a football club. And I moved from a football club to basketball, women basketball. I'm sure you know about MFN Women Basketball Club, the vice champions of Nigerian Women Basketball Club. I started it in 2018, and it wasn't stronger as we speak. I moved to wrestling. I'm sure you know about Oduayo Adekoroye, the double Commonwealth gold medalist, an Olympian, #1 in Africa. I went into that. Then I went into athletics. I organized the under 18 National Athletics Championship. I was working with the AFN. MFN sponsored it for 5 good years. So I went through all of them and like, okay, it started out with journalism. I earned respect. Everyone who sees me, people were willing to give me advice, even sometimes unsolicited. So, and the drive was not to fail. The drive was to make a difference so that more journalists can move from being talkative critics to getting on the inside to understand what it takes to administer sport in a peculiar, in a toxic environment like Nigeria. So journalism prepared me for sport administration.
Okay, sir. Just this question on follow-up question on that. Being a journalist and being a director, which one was tougher? Just be plain. Which one is tougher?
Being a director, certainly. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Okay, yeah. Okay, sir.
You know why it was tougher? You didn't ask me that. I mean, that's simple. Why is it tougher? Because there are so many vicissitudes that you have to battle. There are so many principalities that you have to battle for you to achieve success. You see, let me leave you guys with this, something you can keep, something you remember. Please, when you are just opposing, when you are comparing, please avoid saying, in England, they don't do this. In England, they don't beat referees. In England, they don't. They're deep apple and orange. Are they the same?
No, sir.
They are not. They are not. There's so much is going on in our country that when you compare likes for like, that's when I listen. When you come to me and you say, in Italy, do they postpone matches? In Italy, do they blah, blah, blah? And I say to you, what is working in your country? You don't have light. You don't have water. You don't have roads. You don't have security. You don't have money. There's nothing. You want football and sport to thrive in this environment. You are joking.
Thank you, sir. I think somebody has a question. Itari,
Yes.
thank God. Yes, you can take the floor.
Okay. I want you to expatiate, sir. What do you mean by you said the commandments, the last one you said, make journalism a very serious business. I want you to expatiate on that for better clarity. And again, secondly, you said whenever you go for a press meeting, after the meeting, you don't wait. So I want you to make it more elaborate. Thank you, sir.
Okay, when I say make journalism your life, you know that if you put everything you've got into something, it will yield dividend. You protect it. Something you guard it jealously. This is what puts food on my table. You protect it. You give it everything you've got. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I did. Every day. I have a show on LTV, and I tell you, when I wake up as early as 5:30 a.m. I have browsed the night before. Then by 5:30 thereabout, I wake again and I go through the internet again to see if there are updates. Matches are played Sundays in the league in Nigeria. I speak, because I'm on the inside, I speak to my fellow club chairmen. I ask them to send me the videos of all the matches. So it means that on Monday morning, I will be the first to have all, sometimes 90% or more. No other TV station, none. Some can show 1 or 2 matches, but I show 90%. That's the least I do. 90% of matches that were played the day before on a Monday. So a lot of people will tune in to say, okay, I want to see that goal that MFM scored against Dakada. I know with Godwin, I will see it because I had spent precious time trying to get those things. What am I saying? Journalism should be it's like life. You know, that thing that puts money on your table or put food on your table and put money in your pocket, you don't joke with it. If you joke with journalism, journalism will joke with you. If you take it seriously, how do you take it seriously? By following the 10 commandments. Make it a very good business. When you nurture, when you nurture your business, profit will come out of it. Avoid administrators. Avoid handouts. Avoid handouts. Administrator will not give you what will build the house for you. He will give you handouts so that you come again. And if you take journalism seriously, you will not collect handouts. That's what it is. When I was speaking with Amaju a few days ago, where he talked about no more thought term, you know what he said? I asked him a question. He said, Godwin, it is because of the high regards that I have for you that I picked your call to talk about this. I will send that particular audio to you guys when we are done. You listen to it. He said, because of the high regards that I have for you, that's why I'm picking your call. So when you go to a press conference, and first, let me say, any press conference you are not invited, you can go because you are a news person, you're looking for news. But once it is over, leave immediately. I should clarify that. When you go to a media event uninvited, leave immediately. When you are leaving, they say, come, take this, collect it. You haven't done anything wrong. If they give you an envelope, collect it. It's appreciation. Don't reject it. If you are invited officially, of course, they are going to ask you to wait. But there are so many media events that when it's over, they just say, thank you, God bless you, and you leave. It's not every media event you go to, they give you money. And lastly, never solicit for money from anybody in doing your job. Never, ever. If you do that, you are finished. It might not be the immediate, but first, you have lost your respect before them. That's number one. Number two, you become a source of gossip for administrators. When they see you, maybe you're not passing, they say, look at him, a beggar. They call you all sorts of names. So let me go back to a question by saying that I've explained what it means when I say take journalism seriously, treat it like a business that you want to grow. And when your business grows, you know that profit in your pocket. Give it everything. Resource person you must be. When you go on air, know that you are there to act like a professional. When you write, don't turn opinion to news. There's a difference between news and opinion. Opinion does not enter your news. You get what I'm saying? That's how you take journalism seriously. Your opinion cannot count. When you're on air, keep your opinion to yourself. Separate opinion from news. it stands you out. That means that you're taking the business seriously. And of course, like I said, any event you go to, whether you are invited or not, please take a leave. If they ask you to wait, wait. If they give you anything, take it, but don't solicit for anything. And if you solicit and you get it, you have sold your conscience.
Thank you, sir. Just a follow-up to what you said. Like a journalist, a sports journalist in Nigeria, for instance, I will know that currently, I don't know if I may be right, but I stand to be corrected. Currently now, the Nigeria Professional League is not on coverage in any Nigeria television where they show it live. Even in Super Sports, I don't think they air the Nigerian Professional League. So as a sports journalist, how do you get first-hand information? Because I listen to Super Sports Select 2, I see where they, they do a coverage about Nigerian Professional League, the statistics. So I want to know, since these leagues are not covered on air, how do they source for this information, the tactics, everything that is being used across all the teams and having first-class information on all the teams? Thank you, sir.
Okay. Another thing is, there's something we say about a peculiar situation. Where do you stay?
I stay in Port Harcourt, sir.
If you stay in Port Harcourt, today I'm giving you an assignment. Become a local champion. Become an authority when it comes to the teams that play in Port Harcourt. Charity must start from home. Don't attempt to get stories from Gombe. Start from home. Be someone, when they are discussing, they say, what's your name?
I'm Itari Tango.
Okay. So they will say, thank God. When you're looking for story, call thank God. Because anything that has to do with Rivers United, for instance, anything that has to do with go round, Omoku is an authority. How do you get your news? Establish a relationship first with the media officers of these clubs. Ensure that you don't miss any of their games. Ensure that when you are reporting, avoid negative stories. Write constructive stories about Rivers United. Start from there. You don't need to go outside of Port Harcourt to get information about the teams in Port Harcourt. From there, you'll be shocked that some persons will invite you from that, either Rivers United or any club in Rivers State. We go around. We are traveling to, so please want you to follow us. You have been invited because of the job you are doing that people can see, either you see or hear, either on radio, TV, or even social media. It could be Facebook, it could be Twitter, it could be your own blog, it could be anything. Just start small and make sure each time you go to that stadium, profile a player. Go there and say, okay, Rivers United, there's one boy called Chidi Akuneto. The guy is scoring. He says, call him. Write a story on him. Profile him. Ask the media officer to help you. Charles Mayoko, ask me, Charles, can you help me to get to this guy? I want to interview. I like his style. Do a fantastic interview. Everything. Prepare for that interview. Meet him. Ask him questions that he's never been asked before about his family, everything, and publish it and see whether other players in that club will not be calling you to say, make you come and interview us now. Start from somewhere. That is how to go. Then number 2, go and explore different websites. There are some websites or clubs that have not been updated for maybe 4 months, but there's no way you will not get something from that old news on that website. Then the MP is now on Twitter, it is at LMC NPFL, at LMC NPFL. Every game that is played, as the games are being played, this handle of the Nigerian League, the NPFL, the LMC, is updating minute by minute, telling you who has scored, when the goal was scored, how the goal was scored, what is going on in all the centers, because the LMC has what they call match day delegates who will give you information. So by the time you build interest in reporting the league in Nigeria, you will see how far you will go. Just do what I asked you to do now. You will come back and give me testimonies.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. McDonald Samuel, do you have a question? McDonald, do you have a question? Okay, seems like McDonald is having some issues. So I want to just ask one question, and it's based on sources stroke relationships. So how do you build relationships with prominent people? Because as a journalist, you need people in high places. You need people that matter. You need to make relationships with people that matter. So how does a newbie make relationships with people that matter from step to step?
Let your work speak for you. That's all. Let your work that you are doing in your little corner speak for you. That's it. You don't need anybody for upstarts. Your work is the first thing that will speak for you. After that, are you with me now? You will build, so they will call you. Your work, the way you write, the way you talk about a team. Don't join the bandwagon of Rivers United. As you see that team, a team of hooligans, even the general manager steals money. That's what is reigning now. Journalism of criticisms, not based on facts. Criticisms of what I heard people say. Them say, there are always two sides to a coin. I just gave an example now, how to build a relationship. Write positive things about clubs. You can call it PR, it's not important. Positive thing, look for the positives in every situation. And you are in the client where people take criticisms very seriously. There are positives. When you write them, your style of writing, and you don't write and carry the newspaper or whatever. Okay, see the story when I write about you. No, they read, always have a byline. Put your phone number, put something there. They will reach out to you. And that is where you start building relationships. If you write well about things happening, avoid negative things when you are starting a career. You get to a stage where you can now say, okay, I think I have built some reputation. I cannot speak this way. With all of us, you must crawl. Then you stand, you start walking, you start learning how to run. Don't run without crawling. So building relationship, I just explained it to you. That is the first step. Positive. I built mine through what I was doing on Master Sport on NTA. And people would not, they called me. Say, hello, good evening, young man. How are you? I said, fine. Who is this? My name is Dr. Mosadamu. I watched your show today, and that was fantastic. Keep doing what you are doing. Thank you very much. Now, I built a relationship. Godwin, how are you? Fine. Please, I don't know who I'm talking to. My name is Dan Ingerem, President, Athletics Federation of Nigeria. I just watched you on NTA. That's a fantastic job. Just keep it up. I like you criticize us, but you were constructive about it. Not, it just started. Then there are some you ask people ahead of you. Oh, Chana Cheru, please, I want to meet Charles Anazodo. How can I reach him? He says, okay, I'll talk to him. What do you want? I want to interview him. I want to ask him some questions. But you must have something that will appeal to those people. You know, they can ask you 1 or 2 questions. Your response might just turn them off. So, my brother, that's how to build relationship. Your work will speak for you.
Okay. Hello, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening to you, sir. Please, just one more question, sir. Please, I want to know the difference between a news correspondent and a news reporter. Are they same thing or there's a difference in it? Thank you, sir.
A reporter is a reporter. A correspondent, whatever. We have, you know, in journalism, we have beats. You can say government out correspondence. His responsibility is to report news. News reporter, what are you reporting? You are reporting news. The difference is, unless that news correspondent is attached to a particular beat, where your job is to report only government issues. You are a reporter, that means you can report anything you see as you are going. A lizard jump from the wall, you report it. But a man whose duty is to report, for instance, port authority or aviation is different. But bottom line, a reporter is a reporter.
Yes, sir. Well noted, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, is there any other question? Any other question?
Yes, I have a question. McDonald Samuel.
Go ahead.
Go on.
Hello. All right. So my question is that you talk about getting appropriate more information, like interviews from sportsmen, like football players, as a journalist. Now, as an upcoming journalist, thereby you have not been certified from any organization or no ID card. You are just trying to be able to seek and be able to get some source of information. Is that advisable to avoid some of embarrassment? Hey, thinking that you are just coming to do something else instead of the information, like some of us who might not belong in any association that is recognized. Thank you.
I think I understand what you are saying. You have interest in journalism, but you are not working for any organization. Am I right?
Yes. Yes.
So the question will be, why are you not working with any organization?
I'm just saying, if peradventure somebody who is not yet working for any organization, that's what I mean.
There are a lot
That's
of
what I mean.
this organization does what? Journalism. As
Yes.
what? I have a lot of freelancers. Yes, there's room for freelancers. In sport journalism, there's one, the Sport Writers Association of Nigeria. You see, the first thing, if you go back to number 3 of my 10 commandments, number 3 talks about mentorship. If you have a mentor, it will tell you, you can have a mentor and you don't have contacts. You cannot have a mentor who will not tell you how to go about becoming a full-fledged journalist. Are you getting what I'm saying? When I met Paul Bassi, the first thing he told us was that we must be affiliated to SWAN, the Sport Writers Association of Nigeria. After that, the NUJ. So please, my answer to you is to look out for a mentor. And that mentor will give you a direction. It will tell you how, as a freelancer, how, as an upcoming journalist, can go to any stadium and not be harassed. Imagine you go to, I use what you have with you there, Rivers United. You go watch their game. please put money in your pocket to pay the gate fee, if there's gate fee. Don't go in there and be saying, I'm a journalist. And they say, where's your ID card? You don't have ID card. Or you bring one funny ID card. You're going to be harassed. When you go there, you pay your money because you want to learn. You have interest in the business. What do? You get there, pay, sit in one corner, watch the ball with the game with rapt attention, write a story, put it on Facebook, put it on Twitter. Because these ones you don't pay, you're not going to pay. You may not have the luxury of having someone to invite you, maybe Sopere Jaja, inviting you to his TV show. Use Twitter, use Facebook, and write positive news. Avoid for an upstart. I repeat again, for an upstart, avoid negativity. Once you write negative news, you're automatically public enemy number one. They watch out for you next time when you come to the stadium. They will look for you. They'll say, oh, that's the boy that went to write rubbish the other day. You are a marked man already. That is how to start. Pay the price. Go to the stadium. Don't attempt to go into the stadium without paying if they are collecting gate fee. Pay and go and sit. Don't attempt to stay in the VIP. The ticket you paid for, go and sit down there. From there, jot down some things, write a beautiful story and put it out consistently and see whether they will not be looking for you. Say, who wrote that story? Who is so? One day your phone will ring and will come and say, come, and your doors will open from right there. That's my advice for you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for that. Sir, I have a question. Okay. So, sir, I have a question. And I had a lecturer last year. A lecturer is also my mentor. His name is Matthew Kenyon. He has worked in the BBC before. He has worked in the BBC for 25 years. And he's now a freelancer in the Netherlands. And he told me something. He told me in one of his mails he wrote to me, he told me that if you rise too early, the dew will soak you, or the dew will get you wet. How do you know when to rise? How do you know when to take the next step? How do you know when you're not going faster than your shadow? How do you know when you're going faster than your shadow, and how do you avoid it?
See, all the questions you're asking, I like them, but the only challenge I have is that you guys didn't seem to assimilate what I said when I started. I talked about this number 3. It is very, very important. You know that you can get to where you are going faster if someone holds you by the hand. You get what I mean? If you use Google, you know what Google does today? You're going to somewhere, maybe Choba or somewhere, your application, put your destination there, and it takes you there faster. It shows you the road. Sometimes you say, I know this road, no need. You go, there's a gridlock somewhere. That's the role a mentor plays in your life. If you truly believe this person is your mentor, and the person follows, if you're a writer, each time you write, you send them to him. He assesses you. It tells you where you are. You will know. You don't need anybody to tell you if you have a mentor. The commendation, the kind of statements he makes will tell you that, hey, I think this is where I am. Society-wise, you work in an organization, a TV station for 1 year, and the calls that come in, they always are, guy, great job you are doing, great job you are doing. You know that you're moving. It means that you become the most wanted. Radio, other TV stations will ask you, please come. And when those offers come, the mentor you are talking about, you should be able to bring the mentor to say, hey, this is where I am. This is the response I'm getting from society, my immediate environment. And now I'm earning 50,000 a year. A new radio station has just offered me 200,000. What do you think? And remember to always be prayerful. You don't take a step without God. For every step you want to take in everything that you do, you must learn to ask God questions. That's why I said in this discourse, there's no way I'm not going to be referencing God. Every step you take, before you take that step, ask God, is this the right step for me to take? Do your bit. What is your bit? By speaking with your mentor to say, sir, man, this is where I am. This is where I think I am now. These are the feedback. He speaks to you. Then you go back and say, God, should I take this step? It's so easy, my dear brother.
Yes, thank you so much, sir. I don't know if anybody has another question. Does anybody have a question? Anybody?
No.
Okay. We have had this lecture for an hour and 27 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. We started from 4:30. From 4:30 to 5:58, an hour and 28 minutes now. And I want to say a very big thank you to Mr. Godwin Enakhena. If you want to follow Mr. Godwin Enakhena on Twitter, if you want to follow Mr. Godwin Enakhena on Twitter, I have his Twitter handle. You can do that. He posts really good content. His Twitter handle is, let me just get at GENAKHENA. Do you get that? Mr. Godwin Enakhena's Twitter handle is at GENAKHENA. So, Mr. Godwin Enakhena, I want to say a very big thank you for your time. It's not easy. You're a very busy man, but you brought out an hour and 30 minutes to talk to us. It is such a privilege, sir. We are very, very grateful. We are grateful, sir.
Thank you very much. And I want to say that that the number 10, my 10th commandment, please, I beg all of you, I want to see you guys at the top. Not everybody will succeed, but hey, if you do what I ask you to do, what worked for me, what is working for me, what has been working for me, passion, formal education, backed by training in a specialized field, mentorship, the talents, the gift inside of you that is waiting to be polished, contact sources, building trust, building credibility, smelling news from a distance, learning and learning again, carving a niche for yourself, and making journalism everything that you've got, taking it very seriously, taking it as a business. The sky will just be your starting point. Thank you, everyone, for listening to me, and God bless all of you. Thank you very much. It's a privilege, and I really appreciate that. My Twitter handle at Enakhena. I respond to all questions 24/7. So be free to send your messages to me. Get into my DM. I will follow you if you ask for it. Thank you again, and God bless you.
Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much, sir. Come on, a round of applause, guys. A round of applause, please. Come on.
Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you. And you have a great night.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right.